We're in the middle of a second space race. But this time, it's not superpowers duking it out. It's companies like SpaceX, and they're turning space into this bustling economic highway right over our heads. But behind all that incredible progress, there's a hidden conflict, a secret war being fought, a cyber war in orbit that's threatening the very foundation of our modern world.
So here's what we're going to break down. We're going to look at this booming new space economy, and then we'll peel back the curtain and show you just how hooked we are on it. After that, we'll expose the attackers who are targeting our stuff in orbit, and finally, we'll explore the next-generation shield that's being built to protect it all. All right, let's get into it. The space industry today, it's moved way past just planting flags. Now, it's all about creating a real, vibrant, and profitable economy right there in orbit. Just look at this number, 134. Let that sink in for a second. That's how many times SpaceX launched a Falcon rocket in just one recent year. Thanks to reusable rockets, these companies have completely shattered the old cost barrier, making space cheaper and way more accessible than ever before. It's an absolute game changer. And what happens when you make something cheaper and easier? Innovation just explodes. We're talking massive satellite constellations like Starlink beaming down internet, companies like Planet Labs taking a picture of the entire Earth every single day, and pioneers like Intuitive Machines actually starting a commercial economy on the moon. Yep, space is officially open for business.
But here's the thing. This new space economy isn't just happening up there in some far-off place. It has quietly become the invisible backbone of our daily lives right here on Earth. And that's created a dependence that is, well, it's both incredibly powerful and unbelievably fragile.
So I want you to really think about this for a second. Just picture it. What would actually happen if all those signals from space that we take for granted just blinked out? No GPS, no precision timing, no satcoms. What does that day look like?
Well, the answer is a catastrophe. A UK government report actually ran the numbers on what would happen if they lost their global navigation satellite system, that's the tech behind GPS, for just 1 week. The losses are just jaw-dropping. 1.9 billion pounds for emergency services, 1.7 billion for shipping, 1.4 billion for road transport. And that's just for starters. And that's because these systems are the secret ingredient in, well, everything. They provide the timing pulses that keep global financial markets in sync. They guide the just-in-time shipping that keeps our store shelves stocked. They make precision agriculture possible, which, feeds us. They even run the communication networks our first responders rely on. We are completely, totally dependent on these little signals from space. Okay, so if our entire modern society is built on this invisible foundation, the next question is, who's trying to smash it? Well, welcome to the invisible battlefield, where the lines between spies, soldiers, and criminals have basically been erased. This quote right here, it absolutely nails the new reality. It's getting so hard for security experts to tell the difference between a government spy trying to steal secrets and a criminal gang just trying to make a quick buck. And you know why? Because they're starting to look alike, act alike, and sometimes even work together. And check this out. This slide shows you exactly what we mean. Look at this. They're using the same off-the-shelf hacking tools, the same attack methods. And for evasion, they both use things like fileless malware and living off the land tactics. That's basically a fancy way of saying they use a system's own tools against it, which makes them almost impossible to spot. It's a total nightmare trying to figure out who hit you and why. And believe me, this isn't just theory. On the very same day Russia began its full-scale invasion of Ukraine, a huge cyber attack slammed the Viasat satellite network. But the attackers didn't fire a laser at the satellite in orbit. Nope, they went for a much softer target, the internet modems on the ground. The attack crippled Ukrainian military communications at the worst possible moment and caused chaos for tens of thousands of people across Europe. The big takeaway here is that the biggest threat to something in space isn't in space at all. It's a keyboard on Earth. And this image just illustrates the real weak point perfectly. A space system isn't just the shiny satellite. It's this huge, sprawling, complicated web of systems on the ground. We're talking factories, mission control centers, and all the ground stations that actually talk to the satellite. Every single one of those is a potential door for an attacker to walk right through. So you can see why these systems are so vulnerable, right? Their supply chains stretch all over the world. They often use regular, off-the-shelf computer parts that maybe haven't been secured properly. And get this, a lot of them still run on old legacy systems that were designed decades ago, long before anyone was thinking about cybersecurity or connecting them to the internet. Okay, so I know this all sounds pretty dire, but it's not all doom and gloom. The good guys are fighting back. So let's jump into our final section and see how experts are building a next-generation shield to protect our critical assets in orbit. The first piece of this shield is a complete change in mindset. It's called zero trust. The old way of thinking was like a castle with a moat. Once you were inside the walls, you were trusted. Well, this new model assumes the bad guy is already inside, so nothing gets trusted by default. Every user, every device, every single connection has to prove who they are over and over again.
But even our best defenses today have an expiration date. See, there's this threat looming on the horizon: quantum computers. They'll be so powerful they can crack the encryption that protects basically everything online. So how do you fight that? You build a future-proof defense called post-quantum cryptography. It's a whole new set of codes designed from the ground up to be safe, even from a quantum attack.
And to catch these super stealthy threats, you need an equally sophisticated watchdog. And that is where AI comes into the picture. Security teams can train AI models on what a network is supposed to look like, what's normal. Then the AI watches everything in real time, and the second something looks even a little bit weird, it flags it instantly, way faster than any human could ever hope to.
And that brings us to the final big question. This new space race is moving at lightning speed, creating opportunities we could only dream of a generation ago. But as we're racing to build this new economy in the stars, there's another, quieter race happening right here on Earth, the race to secure its foundations. The real question is, can we win that race before it's too late?